I'd like to call the May meeting of the Bloomington Municipal Advisory Council in order at 6:39. And Eric, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I will. Those who are listening, those who are watching, please place your hand over your hearts and begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Eric. Okay, we have, I guess, one dignitary on calling in on the phone, Israel Fuentes from Colton Joint Unified School District. Is anybody else out there at all?
Greg Young, West Valley Water District. Good evening, everybody.
Welcome, Greg. Welcome. Just talking about you guys. Seeing maybe we can do this live on Facebook next time.
All right.
Okay, we're going to move on to the approval of minutes.
Oh, sorry, Gary. I need to call roll.
I'm sorry, Betty, what?
Oh, this is Erica. I need to call roll.
Okay, thank you.
Gary Grosich, Chair.
Here.
Diane Mendez Cantu, Vice Chair.
Here.
Jackie Cox.
Here.
Larry Burgos.
Here.
Betty Gosney.
Present.
Eric Scott.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving along. Approval of minutes. The minutes from February 4th, 2020.
Oh,
Make a motion.
Motion to approve minutes. I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion second.
that should be for March 3rd, Gary.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm sorry, March 3rd, excuse me, March 3rd, 2020, yes. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we need a roll call vote, Eric?
I'm going to do a roll call vote only because members of the public are listening audio. So I'm just going to do a roll call vote just to ensure
Okay.
we're following the process. So Gary Grosich,
Yes.
Diane Mendez Cantu,
Yes.
Jackie Cox,
Yes.
Larry Burgos,
Yes.
Betty Gosney,
Yes.
Eric Scott.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Erica. Our next item this evening is a special presentation on the Cedar I-10 interchange project update. And our presenter this evening is San Bernardino County Department of Public Works and Real Estate Services, and I believe we have representatives from Caltrans here as well, I hope. So Erica, take it away.
I'm just going to pull up the PowerPoint and then I will ask our special guests to unmute themselves here. I know we have our team here from Department of Public Works as well as our team here from Real Estate Services, and then as well as I believe a representative from Caltrans. So I'm going to turn the presentation over as long as everyone can see the PowerPoint on the screen.
Yes.
Thank you, Erica. Good evening. My name is Chris Nguyen. I'm employee of Public Works, along with Jennifer Goodell with County Real Estate Services. Tonight, Jennifer and I will be jointly presenting the project. The County of San Bernardino, in cooperation with San Bernardino County Transportation Authority, known as SBCTA, and Caltrans and cities of Fontana and Rialto, to the I-10 freeway at Cedar Avenue interchange. The project limits on Cedar Avenue is from Orange Street on the south to Bloomington Avenue to the north. The I-10 is approximately half a mile on each side of Cedar Avenue. The project consists mainly of widening the I-10 overcrossing bridge to the east side, placement of the bridge over the railroad, widening along Cedar Avenue, widening and adding lanes to the on and off ramp. The improvements will alleviate congestion area. Final design is anticipated to be completed in of 2020. anticipated to be in the fall of 2021. Construction in the spring of 2022. It will take approximately 2.5 years to complete construction. This will be in the fall of 2024. Project total cost is estimated at approximately 112 million. Next slide, please. Okay, what you have in front of you is the striping plan. Pretty much you cannot see anything there. It's just anything in red is a striping plans on Cedar and ramps on ramps. There are 2 south walls proposed on the north side of the I-10 and on east side of Cedar Avenue. There are various retainer wall proposed throughout the project limit. Next slide, please. So this slide shows the enlarged views of the striping plans. Just want to point out that the bridge over the I-10 freeway have 10 lanes total. And 11 lanes on each side of this direction of travel. That make up to 10 lanes across the bridge. The project also proposes additional right turn and left turn lanes at various intersections throughout the project limits. Next slide, please. Now I would like to turn this over to Jennifer L.
Good evening. I'd like to draw your attention to the Valley Boulevard Cedar Avenue intersection. There are a number of improvements that are actually going to be relocated or removed from this intersection. You'll see it's primarily the northwest, southeast, and southwest corners. And so you'll see this map that shows a lot of bubbles and different colors, but you'll see a highlight of the improvements actually on the sides. So if you look at the northwest corner, we have the gazebo for Farmer Boys, and the southwest corner, we have some signage, as well as the southeast corner. And then also at the southwest corner, there's an unofficial park and ride. I know there was some signage that was installed, and it looks like people are using that as a park and ride. So we will talk about that next. And so we'll go ahead and move to the next slide, and I'll turn it back over to Chris to talk about that parking lot.
Yes, this slide shows the 2 former park and ride facilities. One highlighted in yellow along the westbound on-ramps. Has been taken out of service and is currently closed by Caltrans to the public. Whereas the park and ride, former park and ride highlighted in blue color at the intersection of Cedar and Valley. That one is really used by the public for parking. And next slide, please. So this so this one shows the striping layout for the new parking spaces. The impact was due to the handling of the project at the intersection. Will be providing the same number of parking spaces existing, which is 20 total. This is plus 1 handicap. So, next slide, please.
Okay, so now we'll go to the, continue on with the southwest corner. As you'll see, there are some existing monument signage that are actually located on this corner. This is located within the county right-of-way. So with the expansion of the street, with the widening, these items will need to be relocated. So if you can see that some of the items have a orange X through them, that just shows the current location. And if you look a little to the right, you'll see that the Bloomington MAC sign, and also there is a Jack Pratt Memorial Park monument, the large B. Those two items will be relocated outside of the right-of-way. So they'll still stay on this corner, just relocated. There are two benches that are planned to be removed. So go ahead and go to the next slide, please. So this is just a close-up of the items that are located within the right-of-way, and this is just north of that parking area Chris was talking about. So we'll go ahead, go to the next slide. And just highlighting one of the benches, and then also the Jack Pratt Memorial Monument that will be relocated. And next slide. And so this is a rendering of what it will look like after the project's complete. So as you can see, the monuments have been moved. So to give you kind of an idea of what to expect. And we'll go to the next slide, please. Now on the other side, we have the southeast corner of Valley and Cedar. And here we have the Welcome to Bloomington sign. We have a meandering walking path. We have some decorative rock, and then we also have two benches on this side. So items will also be relocated. The two benches will actually be removed. The walking path will actually be removed because the majority of this area is located within the right-of-way, but the decorative rock can actually be relocated. So we'll go to the next slide, please. And so this is a rendering of what you can expect it to look like once the project is finished. And then we'll go to the next slide. And so here we have an overview of the intersection, and now we're going to focus on the northwest corner, which is the Farmer Boys property. So Farmer Boys, their actual property boundary is highlighted in green. So you'll see on the right, there is a red outline of a parking area and then a green arrow which points to the gazebo. This area is actually located within the county right-of-way, and Farmer Boys, when they built this building, they obtained an encroachment permit from the county. So they were allowed to use this area for parking until a later date when the county would come through to do this widening project. So we've actually reached out to Farmer Boys. They are aware of the project. We need to meet with them. We actually had plans to meet with them to talk about this and the impacts to their property, as well as either removing or relocating the gazebo out of the right-of-way. However, the coronavirus situation happened right about that time, and they've asked to postpone the meeting. So we will certainly touch base with them again soon to get their input, so that way we can find out what they would like to see for this parking lot area. And then we'll go to the next slide, please. So this is what it looks like now. As you'll see, the gazebo. So we're looking at, that was actually, I believe, installed by the county. So it's something that we're looking at either relocating or removing. And so if you go to the next slide, please. This is what it would look like in the after condition. And this particular photo shows the rendering if the gazebo is removed from the site, which is one of the options. So that's what it would look like in the after condition. And so next slide, please. This is just a summary of basically all of the items in the right-of-way that we just talked about. The park and ride, there was signage for the park and ride, but technically it's not an official park and ride, but we understand that the public is still using this area for parking. So we plan to restripe parking spaces so they can continue to use it after construction. We went over the Jack Pratt Park monuments and the items that will be relocated and removed, and also with the southeast corner. And with the northwest corner, the gazebo will either be relocated, removed, pending a meeting with Farmer Boys, and their sign will also have to be relocated back behind the right-of-way. So next slide, please. And so I'll turn it over to Chris to talk about the bridge design.
Thank you, Jenny. The project team has come up with 3 various aesthetic design concepts for the I-10 overcrossing bridge. And this slide is concept number 1. So as you can see, the concrete is stained with earth tone color and with a smooth surface. And steel girders will be painted the same color as concrete. West side and east side of the bridge will look similar after construction. On the lower left-hand corner is the for the future which is years away. There's going to be retaining wall on both sides of the I-10. Again, this is concept number 1. Next slide, please. So this slide is similar to concept number 1. In addition, there will be a strip of what you call fracture ribs texture concrete alongside the bridge, and you can see the top left-hand side view right there. There's a strip of fracture ribs texture concrete. That's what the terminology. Concept also provide a clear path. The logo can be placed on. You can see that the view on the right-hand side. That's the logo. It can be placed on the pier cap. Okay, and next slide, please. So this is the third one. This is very similar to number 2. It has a smooth surface and no strip of the fracture ribs texture concrete alongside the bridge. That's the only difference between the 2 and 3. Next slide, please. Jennifer, you want to go?
Yes, so right now we are actually in the appraisal phase. We will need some right-of-way from approximately 28 property owners, including private property owners as well as the railroad and some other businesses in order to construct these improvements, which includes a sound wall. So right now we've started the appraisal portion of this. We're just in the middle of doing that right now, so the appraisals are not finished. We're looking at acquiring partial fee, road, slope, aerial easements, some temporary construction easements. So we're looking at hopefully having those appraisals finished sometime in June. And SBCTA would also have to review those. So we're looking at possibly making offers to the property owners this summer. So that's our update for where we are with the acquisition of properties. And so this is the final slide for our presentation. And thank you very much for having us. We really appreciate your time. And please let us know if you have any questions.
I'm sorry, is this the appropriate time to ask questions?
Yes, I was just gonna give one quick note. I'm gonna let Gary just kind of go through the MAC members for questions. If folks from the public have questions, we will get to those as well. So I'm just gonna turn it over to Gary and let him kind of go through and get questions from you guys.
Okay, so I'm looking. First, I see Betty. Betty, do you have any questions or comments?
Not at this point. I've been looking through everything and I've taken notes, so I may in the future, but right now I'm kind of convinced that everything's there.
Okay.
I appreciate the report.
You're good?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Larry?
Just my quick question was on the community identifier. I just wanted to make sure that we would have some input into that design as we were discussing before everybody came along with the meeting. make sure that that doesn't fall through the cracks. And also, I've just had a really quick question. As far as where the park and ride is, I know that there are several businesses there with the Valero, the barber shop, the tattoo place, there's a car place, and I saw tentative park and ride space to be done in that immediate corner. Will those businesses be relocated, or are they going to be able to remain according to this plan?
They will not be relocated, so they will stay there. And they'll be notified of, before the project, of any plans for that additional parking area that we plan to restripe.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Larry. Diane?
I don't have any questions right now.
Okay, thank you. Eric? Oops, Eric?
No questions for me right now. I'm going to look through this document in more detail.
Okay, thank you. Jackie? Jackie, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can. Do you have any questions or comments?
Hold on, she's on mute. Let me take her off. Jackie?
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yep, we can hear you.
I have no questions. Good presentation.
Okay, thank you. And can we, do we have any questions or comments? I know we have at least 2 people listening to elected officials. Israel and Greg, if you're there, do you have any questions or comments?
Eric, are we going to be able to see the documents that were presented since we're not watching this?
Yes, I apologize for not distributing those in advance, but we'll get copies out to you.
Good.
Okay, great. Until I see the documentation, then I'll probably have questions later on.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, same here. And I'm not sure if it was coming from the speaker or who, but someone seemed like every time he went to talk, it sounded like there's a truck in the background, so I couldn't quite hear the whole thing, but I look forward to reviewing it when it's made available.
There was an awful lot of feedback from the Public Works presenter. Are they still online, Erica?
Yeah, they're here.
Staff? Okay. All right. I have a couple questions. I see Fontana's involved in this project. Have they been collecting development impact fees as well?
Yeah, yes. That's
Person?
the answer is yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. And so you talked about we're going to enter into negotiations with property owners. Is that basically an eminent domain situation? You're going to make them an offer they can't refuse, or is there any problems with that?
Well, we certainly present the offer to them, and our goal is to negotiate and work with the property owners. Eminent domain is a possibility. However, that's not how we want to approach it. We would prefer to try to give the property owners the time to review the offer packages, and we certainly intend to meet with them as much as necessary in order to answer all their questions. We've actually already had started meeting with them. They've met with the appraiser. They're given the opportunity to do that. So our goal is to hopefully work with everyone, make contact with everyone, and answer their questions and address their concerns.
Okay, thank you. It was very difficult. There was a lot of emphasis on the north side of the bridge. Can you talk about the south side? Are we widening Cedar out to Orange? Is that correct?
The winding start from Orange to north, not to the south, but to the north of Orange.
Okay, and at Orange, how many lanes each direction?
3 lanes, 2 lanes, and some right turn lane. So basically, 3 2 lanes on each direction.
Okay, and did you say a right turn pocket as well?
The right turn on the on-ramp eastbound. There's a right turn, exclusive right turn.
Okay, great. Because that's one of the things we've been talking about, the need to widen Cedar to 3 lanes in each direction for for the length of it, the south end. Okay, it was hard to see from your presentation the actual what was going on with the bridge. You mentioned 10 lanes. Can you give us a little more input as to how many are through and how many are left and how many are right? Going
Sure.
eastbound and can you give us a little more detail on that? Now, are we going to have I would imagine we're going to have bike lanes as well.
Correct. We do have bike lanes on one northeast direction, yes, of travel.
Okay, and is there going to be a sidewalk for pedestrians?
Correct.
Okay.
So the lanes side by side, 2 lanes, and then 4 left-turn lanes. I mean, okay, let me say it one more time. On each direction, there are 2 lanes and then 2 left-turn lanes. So that's multiplied by 2, so that's 10 lanes total across the bridge.
Okay, thank you. And just on a little aside, I travel every day on the Riverside interchange, and I know they're going to be doing some work there as well. We have a huge problem with people turning across lanes on traffic, and I'm hoping that we can get some not only painted directionals, but also some dots like they have on Cedar to keep traffic in the proper lane. Because on Riverside, they cut across all the time. They go from one lane to the other, and it's a real problem there on the Riverside interchange. Riverside.
Proper striping for lane. So
right. Well, hopefully we can have the dots, the little dots as well to.
Right to the intersections. Yeah, right.
Okay, and do we had a conversation before you guys came online about the logo. I don't know what kind of time frame we have. I think there would be some interest within the community to participate in possibly designing a logo. Particularly the one in the center. Is that in our purview? Can we do that? And what type of time frame would that have to be done into keep the project moving forward?
So if I hear you clearly, is the logo being designed by the community or?
Well, we had talked about the possibility amongst the MAC members of having some community involvement in designing a new logo for Bloomington, and for use on the bridge. And I just wanted to see if SBCTA and Caltrans is amenable to that, and if they were, what type of time frame they would need for the community to come up with something that we liked.
Yeah, currently, Caltrans structural design is moving forward with the 95% submittal. So timeline wise, I say probably we will get back to you because I cannot. I have to check with Caltrans structure to see what timeline they can give us. When we can give them the logo, so they can design it out.
Okay, but that's something that's doable if the community comes up with something that's acceptable and not too elaborate. That could be done.
Right.
Okay. All right. That's what I had. Thank you. Anybody else want to get in before we let the staff go?
Gary, real quick, this is Greg Young from West Valley Water District.
Go ahead, Greg.
You answered one of my questions, but I just wanted to make you guys aware that I know that our staff has been in communication with you as far as the design of the bridge in regards to replacing West Valley Water District's lines that are in the current bridge. I just want to make you aware that we're still kind of waiting to hear back from you as far as what size we'll be able to put in, because I forget the exact size, so forgive me, but we just talked about this in a committee meeting a while back, but I know that we were hoping we could upgrade the size of our lines to meet the further demand. So I just kind of wanted to make you aware of that, but I'm sure you'll have conversations with our staff in the future on it.
Okay, thank you, Greg. Just one last thing, and Larry Burgos mentioned it earlier. Just wanted to confirm that Farmer Boys might have a little bit of an impact but there will be no businesses taken down in this. Is that correct? No businesses will be forced to leave or sell or relocate. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, thank you. Okay, anyone else before we wrap up?
Yeah, Gary, it's Israel. Erica, one question for you real quick. Can you email me this presentation to my district email so I can forward it to our superintendent and our Owen Chang, so they're aware of what's going on. They have an idea of what's going to happen, because it will impact our schools bus route, and they're going to have to reroute all the buses to a different bridge so that we can get to the south side.
Absolutely, not a problem.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much to the county staff, and the community is really looking forward to this. This has been on the books for almost 20 years, and in our 2007 community plan update, it was shown that this bridge was going to be built in 2008. So we're very excited and anxious to get this going. We have a huge traffic problem on Cedar, so we're really looking forward to this. And anything you guys can do to expedite the project. I've personally been to SBCTA and spoke about the need to get going, and I know they've made it their number one priority. So hopefully we can move this expeditiously and get it built. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Erica, we're moving along.
We are. I'm just going to close up this PowerPoint. Okay.
Yeah, on the big screen. Do we want to take any presentations from? We've got a board member. We've got a water board member. Do we want to just move on to discussion items, or do you want to make a presentation?
No, I think it'd be great. We can have them that are on the line, and then I have some updates from folks that couldn't join us tonight. So.
Okay. Israel Colton Joint Unified School District. Would you like to get anything for us tonight?
Yes, let me share a couple things that are going on. As many of you know, we did close down the schools for the rest of the year, and we do have our kids on virtual learning or online learning currently, and it's been a bit of a challenge, but I think all of our teachers are doing a great job. All of our staff is doing a great job getting our kids educated via Zoom and Webex and all these different types of virtual websites. And I just wanted to applaud them and let them know, that they're doing a great job. Also, we continue with our lunch and breakfast for our kids. Ever since this started, even when we were on spring break, we decided to start our breakfast and lunch for our kids. So there is different sites. Currently, we do have Joe Baca and Bloomington High School that do distribution from 10 to 1 o'clock. And each child gets a lunch and a breakfast together. So you really don't need to have an ID or anything. As long as you have kids at home that need to be fed, come by to these locations here, Joe Baca and Bloomington High School, and feel free to grab some lunch and breakfast for the kids. We will continue this till the end of the year. We're looking at what we're going to do for the summer. Usually there is a summer lunch program that's provided through another organization, and we're going to try to team up with them and continue the breakfast and lunches for our kids. So we're still looking at that, but I'll have more word on that at another meeting. The other thing, our graduation, we did have to cancel all the promotions for elementary and junior high, so there will not be any promotions because of the social distancing and all of that. We decided to go ahead and cancel that. But for the graduates, high school graduates, senior graduates, we do have 2 tentative dates in July and August, depending on how the governor or the county decides to do the social distancing. Either date, I know it's July 8th for the Washington High School, July 9th for Colton High School, July 10th for Grand Terrace High School, and July 13th for Bloomington High School. That is, if we can get it done in July. If not, we do have dates set aside in August. August 10th for Grand Terrace High School, August 11th for Bloomington High School, August 12th for Colton High School, and August 13th for Slover and Washington continuation high schools. We do have those dates. We're hoping that we'll be able to do some type of graduation. I don't know all the details currently. We've been talking to see what we would do. We will probably do it virtually for all the graduations and only invite the immediate parents of the student to come to the graduation, live graduation. So we're still looking at ideas. If we can't do any graduation at any of the stadiums, we will probably do some type of a drive-through graduation. I don't know yet. We're still talking about this, and hopefully we can do something for the kids. Currently, what the schools are doing, I think yesterday, I was out at Grand Terrace High School, and we did go out to about 400 homes. This was teachers, some board members, myself, and people from the community. I think even the mayor of Grand Terrace was out there. And we went out to 400 different homes and placed yard signs for the graduates. If you follow me on Facebook, you did see that on Facebook. And then tomorrow, we will have yard signs for our Bloomington High School students. They will come by the school, pick up their yard sign, but we're going to have a nice parade of vehicles that will be dressed up, just congratulating the students as they come through. And so I'd like to also invite the MAC and the community, if you'd like to come out on May, let me get my dates here. Let me look at here, I'm sorry. May 14th, we will have a parade or a drive-through for the valedictorian, the salutatorian, and the boy and girl senior that got their GPAs up there. We are going to do some type of caravan parade led by the Sheriff's Department, and we will go out to their homes and present them with a certificate congratulating them for being the valedictorian, the salutatorian, etc. So I will have more details, and I'll forward this to Erica, and I'll make sure Erica gets it out to everybody. So if you'd like to join us for that, we will have a caravan of vehicles going out to these homes. And tomorrow, like I said, we'll have the yard signs given to the students. If you'd like to join us also, we'll be there from 9 to about 3 o'clock. You don't have to stay for the whole thing, but if you'd like to come out and just kind of fist bump or whatever we do now, some of the students that come through, feel free to come out at any time between 9 and 3 o'clock. We'd love to have some of the MAC out there and some of the community out there cheering on our graduates for 2020. That's all I have currently. If you have any questions, my email, my phone number is on the agenda, on the back of the agenda. And feel free to email me, call me. If I don't answer, please leave me a message, and I'll get back to you in 24 hours. So thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Israel. Greg Young, do you have anything from West Valley Water?
Just real quick, just wanted to let everybody know that with the social distancing, we have limited access to our board meetings, but you can watch us on Facebook Live, and you can call in questions or comments, and they'll still be read into the record. And also just wanted to continue to reiterate that your drinking water is safe, and that the current COVID crisis in no way is affecting the water supply, and that it's safe to drink. There's no need to hoard water from Costco like some people wanted to in the beginning. So your water is safe, and West Valley continues to operate. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Greg. Okay.
Gary, can I add one more thing I forgot? This coming Thursday, we will have a board meeting, and I'm glad that Greg said something about the board meeting. We start at 6:30 now. 5:30. Our board meeting starts at 5:30 on Thursday. So if you'd like to join us virtually, go to our website, and you'll find all the information there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Israel. Erica?
All right. So many of you probably know Officer Cedar, who has been our representative from CHP for a while. I know he's kind of been in and out of meetings, and when he can't make it, he tries to send someone in his stead. I actually heard from him on Monday, and he is transitioning out of this position, so there will be a new CHP officer assigned to attend the meetings and kind of address community concerns. Anyone who's been around for any length of time, you kind of know that this position is a rotating position, so this shouldn't come as surprise that anything is amiss. It's just that it's time for him to rotate out into a different position. So when they have his successor, they will send me his information. I should say his or her information, and then we'll get them out to a meeting as soon as we can. We'll have them participate in whatever aspect they can. But in the meantime, if there are CHP issues, Officer Cecina said he's still happy to handle those until he's gone. So I think everyone should have his contact information. If not, feel free to send those to me and I will get them over to CHP. Next up, special districts. So I believe it was 2 weeks ago now, the county did reopen their parks. It is limited opening, so the bathrooms are still not open, but they are open for folks to get some type of recreation, obviously not to congregate in large groups. Family groups are fine. So our special districts team is kind of up and about now. They have been working with the sheriff department to help the folks that have been living in Ayala Park for a long time, some of them for quite some time. As you probably have heard, there is some optional housing right now available to folks to get them off the street to kind of eliminate their exposure or potential exposure to COVID-19. So we're using that as well as a tool to get some folks off of the street and into a place. And then our hope is to get them into more permanent housing from there versus going back on the street. So they have been working pretty hard at that. They had kind of a take back the park day scheduled before the pandemic happened, and then obviously we had to shift in resources. But the county has been working with our cities, our neighboring cities, to try to get some folks off the street and housed temporarily, which will lead to hopefully some permanent housing. So I'm not sure how many folks travel past Ayala Park. I know I heard from Israel about some activity at the park. So just know that the county, along with our law enforcement partners, we're working on trying to get those folks not just moved along, but into somewhere safe where they have all of the resources that they would need to kind of get back on their feet. So I just heard from special districts yesterday that they've had a couple of nights where the park has been completely clear of folks staying overnight in the park. So any updates with, as it pertains to, obviously when programming is going to be able to come back online, we'll have to kind of wait and see what happens with coming down from the state and our federal government. But in the meantime, they're just kind of focused on making sure that our parks are staying maintained and it's still place for folks to get out and get some exercise. You know, a lot of folks are just tired of being inside, and I can completely understand that. So Erin is still around, accessible via email. So if you do have questions as it relates to parks or something that is specific to special districts, don't hesitate to reach out. It's pretty responsive. As far as just kind of the county side, our COVID hotline is still up. It is manned Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. That number for anyone that may need it or may need to pass it along to someone, 909-387-3911. And then as well, if folks want to access information online, our COVID-19 website is just sbcovid19.com. And that information is updated daily as far as dashboards with numbers. All the upcoming testing events can be found on the website, or you can get specific information from folks on the hotline. Our Board of Supervisors did have a special meeting this morning. It was primarily to talk about budgetary issues. They did receive an update on COVID-19. The governor is planning on issuing some guidelines for the state on Thursday. So the board will be meeting again on Thursday to make sure that our county's order is not out of line with what recommendations are coming down from the state. So I know folks we've received a lot of calls from folks as well about what types of businesses they'd like to see open, what kind of services that they need to access if they're not able to. We've been compiling all of those. The supervisor's aware of them. So I think we'll have more guidance once the governor issues his directive on Thursday, and then the board plans to convene in a special meeting on Thursday as well, because I know the governor's timeline is for some businesses, low-risk businesses, to reopen on Friday. So we should, and those meetings can be accessed through our county website as well. If you're interested, you've got some free time and you want to watch a board meeting, they're televised on there. So we should have some information here very shortly about what the county's plan is as far as to kind of phase the reopening as restrictions are lifted. Those are my big updates. If anyone has questions for me about any of that, I'm happy to answer, try to answer as best I can.
Erica, just this is Larry. Just have a concern as I was driving over the bridge. I saw that we have an actual teepee there with the homeless on the very corner, right on the on-ramp going westbound.
The westbound on-ramp?
Right, right along the backside of the access street that runs behind the post office and the garage right next to the parking lot. It seems that we're getting more and more vehicles being parked there, and I don't know what code is doing about that right now, but my concern would be is the gathering of the homeless there, and it seems to be on the uprise there in that corner. Not only there, but even south of that, or I should say east of that, along the banks of the freeway, is also regaining some new tents and tent cities there in the corners. I'm just concerned about those people again building up, and you can see in the back of the park, as you had mentioned earlier, the same thing is that they're all reverting back there, and I guess I don't think code is doing their job, basically getting back out there, and helping them out to remove them. And so I was just wondering if you could help us out with that. Also, just another side note is, and I don't know if I'm jumping the gun here, but as far as code goes, on the corner of Santa Ana and Cedar and our little swap meet there on the private property, it seems to be there every day. Is anybody going to address that? I know that we had talked about those vendors being out there on that corner, and they've just taken over that whole corner.
Yeah, so a couple of things. I'm going to address both points, but on the homeless front, so I have actually, Pam Giles reached out a lot about a lot of the activity down there on Commercial and near the garage. We're trying. I know our Hope team has been out there. A lot of the folks trying to call this just refuse service. And we move folks along as best as we can, and they will move for some time and they'll come back. So I know the problem has grown worse, and I have heard rumblings, whether they're substantiated or not, about folks being moved from other areas that are now finding their way into Bloomington. So we're trying to address that. We're trying to get folks moved into housing. It's not necessarily code. We've actually, it's been our teams that are trying to get these folks into some type of shelter, so hotel rooms, other shelter right now. But we're talking about small teams. So they're doing what they can to move folks. But I understand, and I know the problem has grown exponentially, probably since social distancing and everything, all those orders have been in place. So I'm well aware of the problem areas that you're talking about, Larry, and we're working on getting folks into some shelter.
Okay, and along with that, right behind the high school on Santa Ana, we have all of these vendors between Locust and Alder, I believe it is, and these vendors continue to use those corners. We have food vendors out there, many of them a lot of times without no mask, no social distancing, selling food right out in the open. Where's code? Where's code enforcement? I mean, and this is during the week, in broad daylight, during the day, out there selling. We don't know if they even have permits. And some of it is just like right behind the high school, which is, not only it's unattractive, but it could be unsafe for our public. And so that's the other concern, the area of concern for me.
Sure. Yeah, and that's a combination of code and public health. So I don't want to just put it all on code enforcement, but we also have, we have to take in our staff safety as well. So, that may mean that we're sending folks out. They're trying to triage as much as they can, but they are being sent out to areas all over the county. So I know that this is an issue. Betty has brought this up probably at least 2 months ago. So I know that there's a lot of especially food vendors that are operating right now. So I'm continuing to report those as I get them, and I'm hoping that we can get them shut down as soon as we can. But I wish I had a more definitive answer for you, but that's kind of where things are at right now.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else have questions or comments for Erica?
I want to thank Larry for bringing all of that up, because I was going to, and now it saves me to do it. And Eric has already talked to me several times in this manner. The only thing that he didn't bring up was not every day, but just around the corner right there on Santa Ana and Alder, we have a gentleman that brings in a big truck and he unloads a whole store full of clothing and mannequins and sets them all up and puts awnings out, and like a regular store outside. Not every day, mostly on the weekends. That I don't understand. If they can't.
Betty, you said that's on Santa Ana and Alder?
Yes.
Okay.
Directly across the street from the high school.
Yes.
Yeah, he puts up every Friday and Saturday. He's up.
Okay.
I have another one. Anything on the trucking issue on the legal trucks parks?
We are working on getting that information, those full report back to the MAC momentarily. So I know that's been, but that is forthcoming as well, I promise.
Alrighty, thank you, because we got these illegal truck parks over here by the high school, and they're getting a little out of hand now. Even though we don't have kids right now at the schools, but every time they drive out of there, they're always bringing out their rocks and dirt and everything out to the street there. So
that's it. Erica, if I can butt in right now, I have got my iPad plugged into the charger, and everything is knocking down on me. I don't know what the problem is. It's going to cut me off in a few minutes. So I'm not doing it on purpose. It's just going to happen. If I disappear, that's it.
Betty's had enough.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Any of the other MAC members, comments or questions for Erica?
Gary, I just wanted to, again, just reiterate the comment on the trucking situation. I know that, Erica, you must get beat up almost every day in regards to this, but it has been, quite some time that we've addressed this with the code and, as far as them reporting back, and especially those big trucks that are coming right down around the corner of Santa Ana, making the turns into the yard where they have that big sign, trucking no trucks over 5 tons, and they're still using that route right in front of the high school, right behind the high school. And, you know, now with the new building going up there on Slover and such, you know, if they're going to be tying up that, I guess, approachment off of Locust, you know, what's going to happen with that? You know, are we going to keep those trucks out of there? Are we looking at putting up new signage? I would hope that, you know, we continue to go through and try to address that we have the proper signage for these truckers to abide by, you know, even though they're going to ignore it like they're ignoring them now. You know, I'm not sure what it's going to take. I know we don't have the CHP staff to go through and address it, to issue tickets and just sit there and watch them. But I watch them almost every day. It happens every day. Literally, it happens every day, even on Sundays.
Yes.
So I just want to make sure that that doesn't get removed off the ticket and that it's addressed in a more, I guess, in a quicker fashion. And I know you're saying that we're going to get answers here soon, but we've not seen any progress on that.
Well, I sent information. I don't know if I sent answers, but
All right. Any information of what they're not doing?
Okay, anyone else? Okay, thank you, Larry and Betty and everyone. Yeah, I've been bending Erica's ear pretty hard, and regardless, I'm very, very frustrated, and I know you guys are frustrated as well with the lack of just accountability. There's no accountability in this program. The county has spent approximately $750,000 to deal with this issue, and those of us that live on the south end have basically seen zero progress, and in some cases it's regressed since they started this program going on. It'll be 2 years in July, and so, you know, I've been talking to Erica about forcing code enforcement to come up with some. They're going to have to come up with, somebody's got to come up with some answers for us. And I was going to say this at the end of the comments, but at the end of the evening, but you know, guys, we have, we're only promised another 7 months in this job, and some of us or all of us may be gone. So I would take your passion for whatever it is, whether it's a trucking issue or other issues that you may have, and now is the time to go full bore, because we may not be here this time next year. And there's a lot of things that we started, quite frankly, that are just sitting there as loose ends. And we need to try to finalize some of them best we can. We've got some major projects in line on the south end. We have a general plan update that's languishing. We have these trucking issues and code enforcement. Jackie and I were on an ad hoc committee for 5 years, and the situation's way worse than when we formed the committee. And so I would just implore everybody to, you know, really follow your passion. You guys all, you know, are really great, and you're committed to Bloomington. You've all lived here. We've all lived here for a long time, and so, you know, I'd like to kind of push the next 6 or 8 months while we're still here and see what we can get accomplished. And you know, that means leaning on Erica. She's our point person, and she knows she can take it. And we've had a lot of good conversations, and she knows that we all want what's best for the community. And she's, in her own way, she's very frustrated with the lack of response she's getting as well. I'm sure she doesn't like us every month, like us badgering her over the same thing, but she also understands that she understands the concern and she feels it. So, you know, we just all need to try to do what we can the rest of this year and see what kind of progress we can make on not only the trucking issue, but several other issues, illegal street vendors, you know, development in the community, and that type of thing. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And Erica, one thing for you on a little different subject. At our last meeting, you talked about a groundbreaking for the new Ayala Park in the spring, and spring has sprung. So I'm kind of curious, can you give us an update on that?
We were anticipated to have it actually in April, and then with everything kind of shutting down, it's just been postponed. So as soon as I get, once restrictions are loosened a little bit, I think staff will move forward. So we may be looking at late spring, early summer now. But it's still happening. It's just that it was delayed because of COVID-19.
But is the project delayed or just the formal kind of ceremonial groundbreaking?
Everything else is moving along as it should, as far as finalizing everything, documents, construction, permits, all of that has not been slowed down because of the situation that's happening. It would just be the public groundbreaking that is being delayed, not the actual process.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Before we move along, any last minute things for Erica? Okay. Seeing none. Discussion items, old business, ad hoc committee outstanding citizens award. Betty, before you get away for us.
Well, we do have someone lined up, but we'll wait and do it when we can all get together. The lady's quite excited, and in fact, the whole business is. So we do have someone lined up.
And that's Porky's Pizza, is that correct? Is that what we had discussed?
Pardon me?
Porky's Pizza?
Yes,
Yep.
yes. And then we also were going to give something at the same time to Erica, the soccer. Yeah. Other things.
Also, I think you guys mentioned something about wanting to do something for Doug Crossman from Special Districts.
Right. Definitely. Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Yep. So I have all that. Betty already sent all that information to me. So as soon as we're able, we're definitely going to this.
Okay.
Okay. Code enforcement. I guess we pretty much hashed that out unless somebody's got something else. Okay. Moving along. Bridge Committee. Fulton Joint Unified School District.
Well, that would be me and you, Gary, I think. But as you know, that we've not had any invites yet with the Fulton School District going virtual. Maybe we just need to reach out and maybe get Israel involved and see if he can maybe get a meeting with us with the new superintendent and let him know what we're all about.
That was one of the things we discussed.
What I'm going to try to do, I did talk to the superintendent about the bridge committee because of everything that's going on right now. We're gonna try to get you guys some dates and probably do something virtually. I do have a meeting with him coming up. I'm hoping that I can get something together, and I'll send the dates out to Erica, and I'll have her forward them to you. And but I have mentioned it to our new superintendent. He wanted to be in person at this meeting today, but because of everything that's going on, he's been busy with other virtual things that he has to do as a superintendent. But we are talking about getting together with you so that you guys can meet him also, and we can talk about any other issues that are coming up. But like I said, I do have an upcoming virtual meeting with him, and I will mention it to him once again because I know he had talked to our secretary about getting some dates ready for you. As soon as I do, I'll forward him to Erica.
Okay, thank you, Israel. And I was hoping that possibly we could get Dr. Miranda maybe next month. He can be on our agenda as a presenter, or at least.
I'll try to do that for you. If we do go virtually where we can see each other, that way everybody can see who he is. I will have I will talk to him probably tomorrow before our meeting, just a brief phone call with him, and I'll see if he can be at our next MAC meeting and have him present a little bit about himself and who he is.
Gary, can I pop in here real fast since Israel's still on the line here before I get off the line? I have had not just one, but several different people calling me and asking me, what can we do to get the school district to mow their lawns?
Okay, here we go. Because of certain restrictions of having some of our people out there, we do have a skeleton crew of people going out there cutting grass. It's been a big issue right now. We are trying our best to get to every single school. We do have a skeleton crew of people. Hopefully, with opening up Friday, we might be able to get more people out there. We do have some schools that look pretty bad. There's a lot of weeds and a lot of things going on in a lot of our schools. I apologize for that, but we are trying to do our best to get some more M&O, more of our maintenance and operation people out there to get our schools up to date. But yeah, Bloomington, I was at Bloomington today, and it does look a little bit pretty bad, especially back where the stadium is
It
at.
looks real bad.
Yeah, so we are trying to do our best to get. It's hard when we have people that are afraid to go out, and and so we will have our schools hopefully back up to date and have those yards mowed and those big fields, baseball fields, and all of that mowed again. But my apologies for that. It's something that I've been picking on the superintendent too, because we do have. I live right maybe less than a block from Grimes Elementary and from Joe Baca Middle, and they were looking pretty bad too. But we are trying to get, like I said, more people to go out there and mow some lawns.
Okay. Thank you, Israel.
Thank you.
Okay, topics for upcoming agendas. We have to be determined the homeless point in time count report with the Hope Team presentation, and also San Bernardino County CERT program information. Erica, do you want to elaborate on any of that, or?
Our homeless point in time count report came out. We typically try to line that up with a presentation at a MAC meeting, and it usually falls in April. But with us having to cancel the April meeting, I do still feel like it'd probably be helpful hearing from the folks. It's no surprise our numbers went up this year, but we typically like to have them come out and kind of, give a rundown of what the report means and what that looks like for Bloomington, and then as far as any resources that are out there, we'll do that as well.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on, community events. Anyone in the group want to talk about any community events? No? Okay. I just want to give on that front, I just want to give a shout out to the Olive Branch. They are doing fabulous work. Free meals to the community, food giveaways. It's just incredible what they're doing. I stopped by one day. I saw they had something on Facebook they were doing, and stopped by and made a small donation. And they're feeding a whole family for $3, and it was a drive-through thing. And I donated $30 and asked them to pick out 10 families that they really felt were in need, and they were so thankful. You would have thought I gave them, $300 or $3,000, but so if you get a chance to, Angela and I believe Nina Yanez is also involved with that, and her husband, Angela's husband, Mac, and they're just doing a fabulous job over there. So if you get a chance, come by and say hi to them, and they're doing great work.
Yeah, I wanted to piggyback on that, Gary. I went out there also, and I was amazed to see the amount of people that were there and very appreciative. I think they had over 200 cars at one point, and they were able to feed every single car that went through that drive-through. So, the Olive Branch is doing an awesome job, especially during this time, making sure people have the meals, and the senior citizens are being fed also. So kudos to them, and very appreciative for Angela and her team.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I had a question. Is there, Erica, is there a way that, how I know that the county has a lot of food giveaways. Would it be possible maybe to get with Angela to be able to sponsor a community food drive or a community giveaway there at Ayala, utilizing the county?
So I don't know if it's necessarily the county directly. It could be CAP, but I can definitely reach out to Angela and get her connected with some folks.
Yeah, I think CAP would be a great program, to get her started, and again, only because they already have that relationship with the community. And as a matter of fact, the community looks forward to them having those drives now, as you can well see by the participation that's happening. And so I think if you could just make it that much easier for her, and be allowed to maybe even, get some of those bulk food products out to distribute through our community, I think it would be just a wonderful thing that we could go through and maybe help them out with.
I'm going to throw this out there. If we could continue to try to get a hold of Pam for the old courthouse, Angela would love to start a food pantry, a clothing program there. I know the courthouse it needs a little TLC, well, a lot of TLC actually. But if we can still find a way so that we can use that courthouse to do some type of food bank or a food pantry or something, and maybe a clothes giveaway there. And Angela keeps asking me, and I go, well, you know, I'll mention it. So if we can do something like that, that'd be great. If we can get a hold of Pam and see if she opens the doors for that location.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I know we're working on some other options for Angela too, if that doesn't pan out. So.
Erica, does Pam Gill have anything to do with the courthouse? I know they have the Bloomington,
Yeah,
the home.
yeah, it's the courthouse as well.
Well,
That's under the Bloomington Historical Society.
Historical Society.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
I know a lot of folks in the community think the county actually owns it, and we don't. So
Okay.
we're limited in what we can do, but we're definitely. I know Aaron's been looking at some alternatives for Angela as well to be able to host, and maybe something the county does.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Public comment. Did you say you had some comments, Erica? You wanted to read in, or?
You know what? Just from our partner agencies. So I did not receive any emails or any messages from folks wanting to provide public comment for this meeting. So
Okay.
I don't have anything.
Okay. Any of other elected officials sitting in want to make a public comment? Greg or Israel?
I think Greg.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Member.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Thank you. Member reports. Larry, go ahead. You got anything?
No, I think I've already addressed all the issues that I had, and I just Erica, I wanted to take time out to thank you so much for all that you're doing. And I know that we placed this big burden on you, and now that we don't have our secretary here to help you out, the burden's back on you a little bit. And so, you know, make sure you get those minutes out in time. And just kidding. I just wanted to thank you for everything that you're going through and doing. And again, you know, if you could just please mention that we are so concerned about those issues that we had reported earlier. And, you know, I almost get to the point to where I feel like we're just being pushed off to the side and held off. And it's a horrible thing to say, but that's how I feel. You know, there's been no progress. I know coronavirus has taken over a lot of agenda items and addresses, but, you know, life goes on. And if we're allowing these people to continue to do it, it's going to be that much harder to remove them from doing the wrong thing and getting them to do the right thing. So that is my comment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Larry. Diane?
I don't have anything today. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Diane. Eric?
I don't have much. I just want to second what Larry was saying and thank Erica and thank everybody in the county for what they're doing. These are extremely difficult times, kind of spooky in many cases, and there's so many different plates spinning that it's got to be tough to keep up with all that. And to each of you, just please continue to be safe, continue to be healthy, and we'll pull through this. But just stay the course. And thank you all for what you're doing.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric. Is Betty still on the line?
No.
Okay, how about Jackie? She gone?
She's here, Jackie.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Well, I kind of agree with everyone about the problem on the corner up here. It just, the irritating part of it is we work so hard, everyone, the county, the people, most of the people, to follow the rules. And for some reason, we have a group of people in Bloomington. I think they're the chosen few. I don't know what you call it, but it's so aggravating when we're trying so hard and you have people that thumb their nose up. Something needs to be done to these people. I mean, they're spreading this. They're not wearing masks. They're not doing anything. They're cooking food. It's just ridiculous. But thanks, Erica, for all you do. I know it's a hard job. It's hard times right now. But you know, some of this is probably a good thing when you really think about it. Some of it. Anyway, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jackie. Yeah, I have to agree with my colleagues. You know, Erica, thank you so much for everything you've done in the last years that you've been on, and I know we get frustrated sometimes. We're living it and concerned. Do you want to see help for us? And the county's a big bureaucracy, and there's only so much you can do. And so I know you have your heart in the right place, and you're in this with us. And I really appreciate the conversation you and I have, what you bring to the table. So thank you for that. Evelyn, tell Evelyn we're all going to miss her. I think most of the MAC members have already emailed her and told her that she was a big blessing, a lot of support for you and the MAC. So that's all I had. I think this went over pretty well, quite frankly. The group seemed to, everybody seemed to be able to, hang in there, and I thought it was a productive meeting.
And I will touch bases with you all once we kind of figure out what restrictions are going to stay in place and what we'll do moving forward for our meeting. So I'll be in touch with you guys just to get kind of a sense on what everyone's comfortable with. So that way we'll have something in place for next month.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. And with that, we need a motion for adjournment, or?
So moved. I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Good night,
Bye, everyone.
Everybody take
Have a good night.